Hello, welcome back. In this segment, I want to discuss an attack on RSA using an efficient technique. We know that RSA function is nothing but RSA of a message M is M power E mod N. N is the public modulus, E is the public encryption exponent. We talked about how E and N are generated in the previous segments. So I request you to watch that. I'm assuming you know how RSA works. Okay, the question now is, given the ciphertext C, can we find M? One possibility is to try all possible M. Of course, that's going to take forever. But here I'm going to discuss a technique that will make it slightly faster, meaning quadratic improvement. Okay, how does the technique work? Let us assume the message is bounded by some B bits, meaning let's say your message could be a 64-bit number. In that case, M is less than 2 power 64. So let's assume there is some bound for the message. We don't know the message itself, but we know some bound. Okay, that's a reasonable assumption. Okay, and what if the message turned out to be a product of two numbers R and S? Okay, where R and S are approximately B by 2 bits. Okay, then in that case you will have B bit when you multiply. Okay, that's the approximation. Okay, we can be a little bit informal here. We assume R and S are two small numbers. When you multiply, you get the number M. So the technique works as follows. Since C is nothing but R power E, S power E, I'm just substituting M here, right? And then I can divide. Divide means modular inverse in this context by R power E on both sides. So this is C by R power E is equal to S power E. We don't know R, we don't know S, we don't know M either. But how are we going to find R and S? That's the trick. The step one of the attack is you create a table which has two columns like R and C by R power E. Again, when I say divide, it means modular inverse in a mod N. Okay, so I try all possible R's from 1 through 2 power B by 2. Let's take an example. If B is 64-bit, okay, then the number of rows will be 2 power 32 rows, okay, which is not too bad. 2 power 32 is still within reach of a regular laptop. Try with all possible R's, right? And then for each R, compute C by R power E, also here, right? These are the possible values. Okay, now we computed this for each possible R, C by R power E. So we have a table. Of course, C is specific to that particular message. So this cannot be pre-computed. The only thing you can pre-compute is this R power E mod N and mod inverse. You can pre-compute, but this is the step one. The step two, you start a for loop for each S in the range of 1 through 2 power B by 2. You compute S power E and check whether S power E occurs anywhere here. Let's say S power E occurs over here. Okay, in that case, you know you are the one who selected yes because you're trying all possible yes. All you have to do is look at where S power E is matching to C by R power E like this, right? If you find, then you know the corresponding R is over here. So you pick the R from this table. You also know the yes. You just multiply in mod N, and that becomes your message. That's it. Okay. So what is the efficiency improvement? Instead of trying all possible M from 1 through 2 power 64, we are only trying from 1 through 2 power 32. Okay, to prepare this table. And then we need to do a lookup on this table. We can just do a sort on this column. It's not so expensive. Okay, if you have a sorting algorithm like a quick sort or a merge sort, that will take care of this column sort. So and then you can apply binary search. Given S power E, you are going to search here because it's already sorted. You're going to find the corresponding R. That's all. That's how I implemented it. It's much faster than trying all possible M's. Of course, this attack will only be meaningful if the RSA is used without any padding. Nevertheless, I will show to you that this attack is going to be useful even if there is some padding. In the next segments, I will talk about that. Okay. All right. To summarize, what we learned is that if your message is made of two numbers R and S, and both R and S are small numbers, right? Compared to the original message, we can just reduce the search space, the exponent size. That's meaning half of the exponent. So instead of searching for all possible 2 power 64-bit numbers, we will search for only 2 power 32. The table has to be built, and then we will do a simple binary search on this to figure out whether there is a corresponding R for the particular yes. Okay, that's all. Let me show to you the implementation. There is some small difference in the implementation. I compute R power E separately, and then I use the C to divide R power E because I wanted to show to you that out of 10 messages, how many of the messages can I decrypt? Not all messages will be able to write it like this, right? So those messages that can be written, we can decrypt. All right, let's get started. I'll show you the implementation details a little bit. So I call this quad attack demo, right? I generate RSA public private key pair. As an attacker, you will only have access to the ciphertext, of course. I'm going to try this attack on 10 messages. And I assume for simplicity, for quick demo, each message is only 30-bit long. But we are not going to do 2 power 30. We are going to only do 2 power 15 or something like that. As you can see, it's 2 power 16. You can play with this number +1, +2 a little bit. You will see some improvement. Okay, and then I compute the inverses for all possible OR, as I mentioned to you. As you know, because I need to do C by R power E, so I compute the R power E for all possible Rs. Let me quickly go there to the pre-compute code. Here is this code, which basically computes for all possible Rs for a given bound T, modular inverse, which I use in the quadratic attack demo, which is given here now. So what I'm doing here is that I take a message and a random message, I encrypt the message, and then I check whether my quadratic attack can break this and find the message M. If it is, then I increment the counter to show you how many messages were successfully decrypted. Okay. All right, let's look at the attack itself. We take E, N, we explained it on the board. It's the same regular RSA thing. C is the ciphertext. What about T? T is the number of trials we would like to have. As I mentioned on the whiteboard, 2 power B. In the code, I'm only allowing the user to specify how many rows can I have on my table. You can imagine T is the number of rows on this table, okay? And T is also the number of S's that we will try, okay? T is the number of trials. All right, with that, let's quickly summarize this. So what we are doing here is essentially preparing this table. This is where the first table is prepared, right? And then we sort the table by the second column. And then we search whether S power E, as you can see, I compute S power E mod N is present in the table. If it is, then we return R times yes, that's all. All right, let me quickly run this. Okay. As you can see here, I already ran for a small RSA modulus 256, which is very weak. You should be running 2048 at least, but for demo purpose, it's perfectly fine. I encrypted 10 messages and I can successfully decrypt 4 of them. We can try more. Oh, okay, here it is already. I generated a 512-bit random RSA key pair, and out of 20, I was able to decrypt 11. It turned out that about 30% of the messages can be decrypted